President Biden is hosting UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak for a bilateral meeting at the White House today.
Yeah, this is Sunak's first visit to Washington since taking office last fall. The two leaders are looking to continue what's long been called a special relationship between Britain and the U.S. The White House has already said the invasion of Ukraine will be top of mind.
CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang is at the White House with the latest for us. Hey there, Weijia. So walk us through what they're expected to discuss regarding the war in Ukraine.
It's great to be with you, Errol and Lana. Well, certainly this is an opportunity at a critical juncture during the war to reaffirm their commitment. Remember, Britain has been in lockstep with the U.S. since day one to discuss their support of Ukraine. So certainly they will talk about a coordinated effort. This also gives the Prime Minister an opportunity to lobby for Britain's Defense Minister, Ben Wallace, to take over as the NATO Secretary General. So perhaps that will be part of the conversation as well. But really, the president has stressed so much that it is really important for allies, for NATO members to stand together, to continue to send Putin a message that they will work together and have a coordinated effort. So that certainly, I think, will be at the top of the agenda for today.
Weijia, I want to ask you about what's happening in kind of the tech space. I know you know a lot about that world as well, because there is this idea now that because of the threat artificial intelligence poses to humanity, according to those who develop it, there should be some kind of global body to regulate it. And we know the White House yesterday said these two leaders are expected to discuss this rise in AI. What might we hear from their meeting?
Well, clearly, Prime Minister Sunak is trying to position Britain as a major power broker when it comes to artificial intelligence. In fact, he is planning to host a summit in the fall with several countries to discuss this very issue, to talk about how to use AI in a positive way that doesn't contribute to the downfall, frankly, of society. So I believe he will be talking with President Biden to share ideas. I mean, this is a self-proclaimed techie who went to Stanford, and he has been very vocal about the potential dangers of artificial intelligence, which, of course, is an issue here at home as well, because there's so many questions about how to regulate it, whether it's too late, what's coming down the pike, how to really wrap your arms around these developments. So I think in a global manner, they'll be having that conversation ahead of that summit this fall.
Hey, we want to ask you about something else. The Biden administration today unveiled several new protections for the LGBTQ+ community. In particular, this includes the Department of Education's Office of Civil Rights appointing a coordinator that's tasked with combating book bans. What can you tell us about this?
So we don't know the name yet of this education coordinator, but essentially this person will travel the world to warn schools about possibly violating federal laws when it comes to book bans. There is a group, PEN America, that has been tracking all the banned books and instances of it, about 1,500 in the past year, affecting more than 800 titles. And so this person will have conversations with school boards, with administrators across the country to talk about the risks involved with this. And this is part of, as you mentioned, several announcements that the White House will be talking about tonight at what they are calling the largest Pride event ever. The president is expected to host hundreds of people and families on the South Lawn. Of course, you can see we are inside right now instead of our usual perch outside on the North Lawn because of the air quality. As of now, there's no update to that event, which is set for 7 p.m. tonight, but it'll be a big question whether they will have it because as the day goes on, it seems the air quality is worsening. So we'll have to see if that's going to be rescheduled or moved inside.
Just this domino effect of how the poor air quality is impacting all sorts of aspects of life. Weijia Jiang, always... Oh, I just want to get in, Weijia, that we've just got word that that event is postponed. So, to your point,
really?
This is all happening.
There you go.
Breaking news.
Folks, watch CBS News because we bring you the latest information as we hear it.
That's why we're always on, guys.
That's right.
No, that's good to know.
We'll speak with you later. Weijia, thanks.